Get ready for another microdose. And hey, if this information is jiving with you, then check out the full episode. The link is in the show notes. Enjoy the ride.
So the consensus is that for optimal health, now not for performance, let's kind of differentiate between health and performance. Just for optimal health, at least 7 hours of sleep is what experts, sleep scientists agree. At least 7 hours of sleep. There are individuals that require much more sleep. And, you may be one of those. So that actually to really, to be healthy, you really need more sleep. And if you miss out on sleep, you catch colds more often, whatever, pick up things. So that's the magic seven or more for health. And then when we look at performance, that's where we're talking about 7 to 9 hours of sleep. We see a big improvement in performance, both physical performance, cognitive performance. You've probably seen some of the studies that look at some of these elite athletes who are sleeping 10, 12 hours a day, and their performance goes up dramatically. So, LeBron James, Steph Curry, all these people guess what? They are trying to avoid injuries, and we see that performance goes up. So yeah, those are kind of my answers there. And I think there are rare people, rare individuals that have a genetic anomaly where they are what we call short sleepers. And there are those individuals. There's studies now that they follow a whole family and they can see, wow, they only require 4 hours of sleep a night. They can't really sleep more and they're very productive. And we'd all like to be that person, but we're not. And fooling ourselves into thinking that is just going to end up with circadian scarring. You're going to injure your circadian system.
And did you see some of those results come with that circadian watch bill? What was the shift that we're able to go back and study, the performance and the anxiety and emotional levels of those of the shipment? So what was it? What was it? What happened?
So it was actually, I think the results. So what we did was we went out on a carrier, and I'm looking at the results here to make sure I get the results exactly right as I state them to you. What
awesome.
we found,
we love numbers.
Yeah. So what we found is that when they were working a circadian-based watch bill, their reaction times were 30% faster than when they were on the 5 and dime. And more importantly, they had fewer errors. So we were giving them a reaction time test, psychomotor vigilance task. And they see a target and they have to push the button. See a target, push the button. So, but if they push the button too fast, or if they totally miss the light target, then those are errors. So they had 40 to 50% fewer errors when they were on the circadian based system. So both speed and accuracy. So, that's really when we talk about human performance, that's really what we're talking about is speed and accuracy. So both of those were significantly enhanced there, and their mood got better. So when they were on the 5 and dime, we could measure their mood. They got grouchier and grouchier. And these are on standardized mood scales, profile of mood state, those things. You can see it. And you can actually, when you walk on the ship, I'm sure the same thing at fire department, police department, whatever, you walk into whatever environment, you kind of get a feel for how people are feeling. And you could see that when they were doing the circadian based watch bills, smiles and just a lot happier.
Yeah. So ultimately, it changed the culture even on the ship.
Yeah,
which we've talked to various leaders on the show, and culture eats strategy for breakfast is what's been said. And if you are able to change the culture on a ship, that's just going to dramatically change the effectiveness, the combat effectiveness of that ship and its crew. It's wild. Hey, thanks for joining us on this journey. Small doses lead to big changes. If you're vibing with this snippet, then take a listen to the full episode by clicking the link in the show notes. If you would like to plug in deeper to what we're doing, head to mentalkingmindfulness.com or text MTM to 33777. Until next time, peace.